Hi kids! Um, Today I bring to you this guy, Mr. Bill Brufford. Um, the Autobiography, Yes, King Crimson, Earthworks, and more. Uh, First of all, it's like um I imagine that I would get this book and Mr. Brufford would be talking about drum sounds, recording stories, amazing stories, I guess. Uh, but actually, it's more than that because it actually, when he talk about drumming, he doesn't talk about it technically. He talks more about in a philosophical way. You know, how drums can approach, how drums can affect people, how they are important in this situation. For sure, he tells a lot of stories about the bands he had work with, like for example, he tells that he can't. Sometimes he couldn't understand King Crimson leader and guitar player Robert Fripp because he was a little bit. He thought a little bit out of the box, you know. But he said that this was okay because this what made the band work. Uh, he talks a lot about the percussionist of Crimson Moyer, that he says that there's a sentence that he said to Bruford, I think Jamie Moore. He said to Bruford like, the music is not here to serve you. You are here to serve the music. You know, because sometimes when you are accomplished musician, you want to show off too much, and sometimes it's not necessary. You know, sometimes you just need to keep the rhythm there, and that's all right. It depends on the song too, and that's what is said in here. I pick some quoting of the book to put in my thesis. I'm doing a master at university because I said no, that's really important what he says. For example, one thing that I can remember now, it's he said about the copyright system. Uh, uh, the copyright system it's really connect to recognizing melodies. Because in Western culture, mainly in Europe, the most important part of a song is the melody. You know, and he said that that's not right because sometimes you have, mainly in African music, you you don't have such developed melodies, but you have complex systems of intricate drum patterns, that European music doesn't have, and these uh, rhythm patterns, drum patterns, they should be protected the same as the melodies. And here in Salvador, it happens a little bit because there are some drum patterns from candomblé that they are protected by the players, by the communities who deal with that, you know. So they even it has a name they call ponto, you know. It's like a drum pattern that is connected to a certain group of players, a group of believers, and all these things. And I agree with that. In this book, he also talks a lot about life on the road, how it's hard to leave the children and don't see your child growing up when you work, you know. But he he deals really good about that. It's a kind of he has a British sense of humor, you know, that if you don't get it, if you are not used to it, you cannot understand very good. Uh, he's an amazing guy. I just love to death. You know. And the first time I listened to Brufford, of course, was in Yes. And but after that, when I was teenager, but nowadays I because when I was teenager I didn't have access to much music underground, I could say like that. And King Crimson I just knew recently, and I just fell in love. There's a record called Red that it's fucked up good, and there's a lot of impressions about life, about the way you deal with your job. In his case, his job is playing the drums. Now he got retired, but he gave his contribution to music. This is the pick for you, Mr. Bill Bruff.